You know, I made it a goal here, guys, not to lie to any of you, okay? Here on CS News, we got to be honest with each other, as you guys are oftentimes in the comments. You are brutally honest with me about my yapping, and I just want to be honest with all of you guys right now. This cup, which is usually filled with coffee, was actually filled with an adult beverage that I consumed before this video. That's just me being transparent. That's me being honest. And that should make for a great video. So I hope you guys all enjoy. Welcome back. If you guys have been absent over the past few days, we've been traveling around the world and it's been crazy. And so I'm finally back in this studio for the next 4 days, hopefully making some more CS news. And I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you guys out there who appreciate the yapping, appreciate this channel for what it is. And that's just talking all things Counter-Strike. And today is no different because we got some big and spicy news for all of you guys. Yes, that is NiKo, who took to stream over the last few days. And he's actually been under fire for his take on S1mple and his transfer from Na'Vi, leaving Na'Vi after nearly a decade to go to BC Game. Something we talked about a long time ago. I haven't really delved into too much on this channel, but in case you guys are curious, here's what NiKo had to say about S1mple's debut, his recent performance, and most importantly, his transfer to a team like BC Game.
What do you think about S1mple transfer? I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. I hope he can bounce back, but it looks tough. I saw that they won today. I don't know how he played. He played good today? Let me check. Not too good, not too bad, but they won. That matters. It's just so crazy to imagine S1mple on such a team. Like it's wild. It's wild to think about it.
I'm fine. And for some reason, the internet took this as a discourse to be like, okay, we get what you said about S1mple, but let's go after NiKo. I mean, a lot of the comments out there saying, oh, we could say this about NiKo and his time spent with Falcons. And of course, you know, the major choke story, which has kind of lingered now for a few years. And I was like, guys, can we just take a pause? Like, this is just someone who I'm sure has a lot of respect for S1mple, who didn't say anything terribly crazy in this clip, by the way. And it was just being brutally honest about the moment of saying, hey, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's going to be tough to bounce back from what S1mple was with a team like BC Game. Am I being stupid right now? Or like what he said was just like the truth. It wasn't anything crazy, albeit I do think in today and age, you know, with news channels and how big NiKo is and how big Counter-Strike drama and news has become, it's a top esport in the entire world. When someone like NiKo talks about S1mple, you're going to make headlines. So like, albeit I get where you guys are coming from, and NiKo and the Falcons struggle, it still is continuing, and we have yet to see what they develop into. I still think Falcons will see success, but they have not yet, although people seem to forget what they did with Dexter just like a couple months ago. Whatever. I understand both sides in this argument, but taking this at face value, what NiKo said about S1mple is just true. Like when you think about someone with S1mple and the past he has had and what he wants to achieve in the future, it is hard to imagine him getting it done with BC Game. Like that is just everyone being honest. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that, because with a team like BC Game, who is arguably in that tier 2, when you hear BC Game, you think CCT events. That's what you think. You don't think tier 1 events, because we don't really see them at the events. The only big headline BC Game has made is with what's his face, the guy who didn't pay back that one guy. I should know his name and actually show some respect, but he also did scam that guy to tens of thousands of dollars. So there's that. J-Chem. And so it's got to be weird for other tier 1 pros to be like, yeah, of all the places we saw S1mple signing, I'm sure some of them assumed that FaZe would be in the running, that Lick would be in the running, G2 would be in the running, but he went to a BC Game. He put himself in a position, although S1mple says they gave him the chance. It was Na'Vi who said he had multiple opportunities, and he chose BC Game. And so I think it's totally fair critique this early on, and it's not even critique, it's just NiKo saying his 2 cents in the topic of it is weird, and we will see how S1mple can bounce out of this, because for S1mple to make a headline and to make a step forward at a BC Game, he's got to outperform his competition tremendously, at least in my opinion. And this co-aligns with our second story of the day, that being S1mple's debut with BC Game against a team called Cyber Shoke Cyber choke, cyber shock. I don't freaking know, man. It was a lackluster performance. It was a 101 rating or something that people really held on to very tightly. And again, it's just like the NiKo story. Like, everyone takes this so seriously. It is s1mple's debut with a brand new roster in Tier 2 CS. And we are hanging on to the fact that he did not play a good game, in my opinion. And that's that. Yeah. I think the part that I wanted to hang on to was his next matchup, his next series with this team, where he did improve slightly, and he actually had some plays in there, albeit there were some plays that if he had made these plays in Tier 1 CS, I think he would have been ragged even more for making. Like, this is a different caliber of counterstrike, at least when I'm watching it. And remember, I'm a casual, so my opinion does not matter. But I know for a fact, if s1mple had done this against a Tier 1 team, Reddit, the community, everybody would have never let this moment go. But we're going to let this one go under the radar.
Ever if it does pop up again, to let you know. I can't take care of it. They'll try to make the jump over, knocked down to 32 HP to start off this round. I believe an AG is coming his way, making a molly. He's burning and he dies to start the round. Jacob.
But with that, he also had some good moments. He had some 1v2 clutch as well, and he had some decent showings with a team that is very early on in their situation, and this team could be changing. Like, guys, I would assume that if BC Game is going to live up to their word and actually meet his expectations, there's going to continue to be some changes over at BC Game. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the expectation s1mple set by saying BC was a part of his future, and they promised him some big expectations. So if they're not delivering, I expect some changes around s1mple.
Jacob able to get that kill. Prime Tabs does take down Hypex. It's not what you love to see. And it does seem like Apogee, they're heading back over towards B. It's held on from Nexa. Oh, the smoke does connect. He hears the noise, but the kill does not come through. Reposition here for Prime Tabs. Andu playing aggressive. Where is that molly going? Andu finds one. Andu finds two. Andu finds three. He's staying alive. Reload smoke gets dropped in. Jacob, last player standing, left in a 1v3. I don't know what you do after that one. I don't think you can recover. I don't think you can bounce back. Andu finding the fourth kill. Holy. Free kill on the first. Oh, jumped. Able to see the second. Planting back for CT as well. s1mple does cross out of the molly. It's going to be a 2v2 post plant. No chair tackles today. s1mple 1v2. They pick up a kit. Not sure where he might be playing at. Actually peeking over towards s1mple. Time's good. One tap. Able to get the first. s1mple clutching up the 1v2. BC grabbing in 8th. Huge 1v2 coming through from s1mple.
And so all in all, across the weekend, I was not impressed or unimpressed by s1mple's performance. That's just the blunt truth. I had to go back and watch through the VODs and matches, and nothing really stood out. He had some 2Ks, he had some 3Ks, but nothing was the s1mple that I even saw early on at the major, to be frank, alongside FaZe. And so it was just a meh performance. It wasn't bad, and I don't think it was great. It was somewhere in between. So what did you guys think about all of this? But all eyes on the s1mple debut, of course, because you chose to go from Na'Vi, from a FaZe stand-in, from a Falcon stand-in, to a BC Game player. And so this critique and these eyes are going to be on you until you do something of note, which I think is totally fair. But yeah, not too impressive, but we'll see where BC Game goes from here. And it's going to be, like NiKo said, it's weird. It's going to be a grind. They got to win some events. They got to win some tier 2 events or some lower tier events. I mean, they're playing ESL challenger matches, guys, CCT events. And so they got to win some stuff to prove to all of us that he's still got it in him. And it's going to be a grind. And so, yeah, it's kind of a wild time. I never thought I'd be watching, VODs of s1mple playing in these kind of events. But I do got to shout out someone really quick. And that's going to be Trada, one of the casters who got to cast s1mple's debut, who did a great job. When you have this tier of an event, there's some streamers out there who get to co-stream or co-cast, and he was one of them. And it was actually him breaking his viewership record while watching the second debut match of s1mple. I think he broke like 10,000 concurrent viewers, which just shows the impact of s1mple and a great opportunity for a caster like this, who's a great personality. And he gave himself a monk haircut during this matchup. So, like, huge shouts to him. If I remember and edit, I'll link his channel down below for you guys to check out. That's awesome. Like, s1mple is creating opportunities in other tiers of CS that no one else has ever done before.
How are we looking, chat? Are we cooked?
So anyway, catch me rambling more about NiKo or s1mple in the future. What do you guys think about all of this? What do you think about NiKo's statement on all of this? What do you think about s1mple and his debut at BC Game? Give me your thoughts down below. One last thought for all of you guys. Spirit is apparently still making changes. My goodness, I'm going to wait till maybe a future video to have, once this is confirmed, to talk more in full about this. But Team Spirit coming off the back of a Cologne win. And I wanted to say something because it's kind of confusing with a team like Spirit because they have so many personalities who these guys aren't usually smiling. They're not usually dapper and happy and talkative like most of the teams out there, especially once you have someone like Magix depart this roster. You're thinking there's no more personality. And with someone like Zontix, I don't know if you guys noticed this, and maybe it's hindsight 2020 after the fact of us knowing this, but I swear I remember watching back their match and winning Cologne, and Zontix felt surprisingly unhappy with the situation. And all of that seemingly making sense with now sources telling HLTV that Spirit will be making changes and Zontix will be on the block and Tanir from Heroic will now be coming in. And the crazier part about this is not the Zontix being replaced if they win IEM Cologne. I mean, god dang, how good is this roster going to get? It's going to be scary how good these guys can get. They eventually replace all the older guys besides Donk. That's what it feels like it's going to be. But you can win Cologne and then make a change and then apparently, reportedly pay 1.5 million to Heroic for Tanir. I don't even know what to say with all of this. Obviously, Spirit coming away with a bit of money, of course, with the transfer of the young Kyosuke. That's how I say it, but you guys say Kiyosuke to Falcons. That was reportedly a couple million, maybe. It's definitely in the $1 million range, and they just trade out him for Tanir. So we're just moving around millions of dollars here in Counter-Strike. And this is crazy. I mean, you have Heroic, who has now traded away a trio, and then what? A duo or two solos, and now this. They've made millions and millions in the last couple of years trading away people. And at one point, they're going to have to stick it out and actually stick with the roster. But Tanir is now rumored to replace Zontix on this Spirit lineup coming off an IEM Cologne championship. I feel like what I'm saying out loud is not even real. I can't even imagine this in North American Counter-Strike. Like, Team Liquid wins IEM Cologne by some miracle, and they're like, you know what? We're going to make a change still. We're not really happy. And that almost scares me more, to be honest with you. Now, again, you got to keep in mind the context. Spirit did not have to go through Vitality, so apparently, yeah, Zontix on the chopping block, which is, it's a crazy time over in CIS, but I have to imagine they're seeing themselves an improvement. I'm scared to see what this lineup looks like with Tanir. And hopefully Heroic will start solidifying their roster and maybe stop trading away players. I don't know. Maybe they won't. Maybe they like, pulling the what's the team name? The blue guys with the flames. You guys know what I'm talking about. I was trying not to cut this clip so you guys know that I still know CS. What's their name? They were making a bunch of money. What is it? Frick! Copenhagen Flames. Did I cut those people who hate me yapping are going to hate the fact that I just left that in there. Like, what the frick is he doing? I'm trying to prove a point. and I can think about these things. All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna go have an espresso. It is currently 9:30 p.m. I edit this video for you guys to see in the morning. Thank you all for watching, though. We recently broke 79,000 subscribers, well on our way to 80K, and I just want to say I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you guys for putting up with my yapping, putting up with my idiotic times where I just talk the crap with all of you guys about Counter-Strike, but I do appreciate y'all. See you back here soon. Hopefully something big happens this week before I take off to Germany. Any of you guys who are going to Gamescom, let me know. It's going to be a fun trip. So till next time, take care, guys, and I'll see you back here sometime soon. Cheers.